Welcome back. One of my biggest goals for the new year is to hone in on my cooking skills. Joseph knows. And this month, each of my producers, week by week, is going to share one important recipe with me to help really fill my cooking toolkit.
So we're going to start with making chicken cutlets,
which I've honestly never made at home. No surprise here. I love chicken so much. This looks delicious with the breadcrumbs, but I'm nervous.
We're gonna let the oil heat up. This is avocado oil. You want a high smoke point oil. So while that's getting going, we're gonna pound the chicken flat. I have one that's pounded here, but we're wearing gloves. So here, you take this. So
this is a chicken breast.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, geez.
Take that out. And
this was your hack, which I thought was cool.
Yes, so I cut a Ziploc bag and then, and then you just take the flat end.
The flat end. See, I was going to already ask.
And you really want to
just go to town?
Yep. Just make it nice and flat.
Wait, this is kind of cool.
And the reason you do this is because it,
Are we good?
More the thick end you want flat.
Oh, the thick end.
Yep. The reason we do this is because it helps the chicken evenly cook.
Do I have to cut any of the fat or anything off?
You could if you wanted to, but
I don't have to. Okay.
Okay.
How does that look?
So once you kind of so then you want to kind of feel, and I'd say that's pretty good. Good job. Now, if you don't have a mallet at home, which I'm guessing you probably don't, you could use something like this. You know, it doesn't anything that has a flat surface.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So now let's go to the breading. So open that up.
All right.
And you want to use one hand dry hand, one hand wet hand, more or less. So just try and keep that in mind.
Okay.
So put that in the flour.
This is the flour, evenly coat both sides type of thing.
And for salt with this, some people salt the chicken before they do it. Some people put their salt in the flour. Some people put it in the egg. I do mine in the egg, but everyone is different.
Okay, and now you're saying switch hands to the wet ingredient. So,
yes.
Okay, and this is the egg.
So that's going to be your wet hand.
How many eggs did you put in here? What did you just
It depends how much chicken you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then now I go back.
Yep, and then
geez.
And
what is this?
This is a mix of panko and breadcrumbs. You could do panko by itself. You could do breadcrumbs by itself. You could do breadcrumbs and parm. You know, there's lots of different ways you can mix it depending on what you're wanting to make. Yep.
My biggest thing with chicken is that the texture always throws me off because it's too thick. So I'm liking that this is pounded. Is that okay?
Let's leave that there for a sec.
You're like, good Lord.
You're doing great, Kelly.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Well, one way to tell if your oil's hot enough is you take some breadcrumbs and you put it in, and if they start to sizzle like that, then you know it's ready. The reason you don't want to put it in too early, if the oil's not hot, it just makes everything soggy with oil. It doesn't fry it, so that will ruin it. So that is doing its thing.
And again, you used avocado oil because you like that it's a high smoke point.
Exactly. So I'll put this in for you here since I'm on this side.
Tongs. I do have tongs at my house, so
you're on to a good start. So then you just put that on, and you push it down so it makes a lot of good contact with the pan. And I have this on kind of a medium right now. I'm going to turn up just a skosh.
And how long about on each side? Because again, I tend to always overcook chicken, is my fault.
That is a problem with chicken breast, honestly. So you want to be careful. Health standards, you want to cook it to 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I know you probably don't have a thermometer at home, so that's kind of hard to tell. Some people cook it to 150, then they let it carry over, cook as it sits out. But what I would say is you got to practice just to know. You'll start to sense it as you cook more. But I would say to start, you want to do 3 to 5 minutes per side.
3 to 5 minutes.
And if it's too hot, be careful. You don't want the breadcrumbs to burn. So there's kind of a little bit of things you got to be monitoring while this is going on.
You're giving me a hard, first assignment, homework assignment, I feel like.
But you know what? Since we got a little time, you're gonna bread this one also.
Okay.
And get her ready to go.
Yours does look better. This is the one that Joseph did.
Who could say?
Who could say? But I feel like you did a little better than me. I feel like you could also make this gluten-free with different flour,
Absolutely.
right? And
there's gluten-free flour. A lot of people like to do an almond flour, which is nice.
And breadcrumbs, I've seen that, so that's a nice option.
Yep,
okay, so a little of that. We go into the little egg again. I like this process.
Look at Kelly, you're cooking. You're doing great.
This is fun, and I'm a visual learner. So honestly, you making me do this instead of talking about it every year, how I'd want to be better in the kitchen, but you're like, well, how many recipes have you made this year? Because last year, my goal was to make 5 new recipes, and I think I made 3.
Well,
I'm a bag salad or
I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm like, Kelly, we're doing it this year.
Crackers and cheese,
and I know
girly.
The other gals on staff, they've got some fun other recipes that are different than this that will help you, to
hone in my skills there.
Because we're here for you.
Well, I appreciate that. Okay, so that is looking pretty good.
So you're gonna let this cook. If you want, I would say don't lift it up too early because you don't want to break the contact and everything. But let's just we can peek. Yeah, still needs to go longer. But I have a finished one.
I know, so I'm in a taste test.
Here, I'm going to take my gloves off. So I just cooked these up backstage.
Ooh.
And I pre-sliced you a little piece there on the edge.
Thank you so much. Oh, here it is. Wow, you gave me a big one.
There you go.
Here we go. Oh, wow.
Yum, good.
This is delicious.
So what do you do with this? You could eat it by itself. You could chop it up, put it on a salad. I know you like that. Producer Susie was saying put some marinara on it. You could put it on some spaghetti. And the nice thing about this is, I mean, you can bread like literally anything. It doesn't have to just be chicken. You could do pork or whatever, you know?
Good point, like a schnitzel?
Yeah, like a schnitzel, exactly.
Wait, okay, and then I'm looking for if it's not pink,
now,
that's important.
If it's pink on the inside, that means you need to cook it longer. But I would say just to start to be safe, like 3 to 5 minutes, and then as you practice and do this more, then you'll get more comfortable and you'll not need to
be sitting there like
just
this.
like this
I'm
going
to be stressing when I'm making this.
But, you know, a cooking thermometer is a good tool to have in the kitchen.
I might have to purchase a cooking thermometer because then I'm coming back later this week to explain.
So on Thursday, you're reporting back. Exactly. So
thank you so much, Joseph. This was a blast. I'm feeling good.
Okay.
I think I can do it.
I think you can too.
With your support, we can do it.
So Kelly, how'd it go?
Drum roll, please. Here are my photos. Thumbs up. It's presentation, 1 out of 10.
Okay.
Taste, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I used olive oil. You did tell me to use avocado oil, so there was a lot of olive oil taste. But look, no pink. And that was the biggest thing. I cooked it all the way through. I was very excited about that.
Good job.
It wasn't overcooked because sometimes I get really weird with chicken and kind of freak out.
Which a lot of people do.
Yes.
It's not just you.
Thank you. But I loved the pounding the chicken technique. Got it really thin. I'm also really weird with chicken and textures. I have issues. So I was happy.
I would say on your rating, we are starting with cooking. Maybe food styling can be later down the line. So don't beat yourself up over that.
Thank you. We're going to need that in 2027 or something.
Something to look forward to.
Absolutely. But I'm glad. What do you think the rating was? Are you giving it also a 1 out of 10 for presentation?
No. We don't have to talk about that part because you're doing your best.
Thank you.
But what I would like to surprise you with is, you were talking about the pink part with cooking, like making sure it's fully cooked. So Team New Day has gifted you a food thermometer. So now you don't have to guess. So we're going to give this here to Spencer and he'll bring it to you. But yeah, happy cooking. That's our gift to you to get you going. And I think next week, producer Alexis is going to help you take you like scrambled eggs. We're taking that to the next level for you, I think.
Ooh, look at that tease. Well, thank you so much. Because yes, I was telling all of you guys, like, wait, I don't have a thermometer at home. So
now you do.
Now I do. Fancy. Thank you so much, Joseph. And thank you for helping me with my New Year's resolution.
Anytime.
I appreciate it.